Stop searching for a job. God has a bigger plan for you. Listen, can you feel it? The world around you has gone still. Heaven has silenced its songs, and even the clock seems to hold its breath. Because this moment, yes, this one right now, was chosen for you. You have been restless, haven't you? Searching, scrolling, applying, waiting, asking questions in the dark, wondering when the door will open, when the answer will come, when life will finally make sense. But in the quiet whisper of the Spirit, there is another voice, not one of striving, but of calling. Not one that says, asterisk, find something to do, asterisk, but one that says, asterisk, become who I made you to be, asterisk. You have been looking for employment, but heaven has been arranging your assignment. You have been seeking a position, but God has been preparing a purpose. What if the delay is not denial but design? What if your waiting season is the holy ground where destiny is being written? You see, God does not measure success by titles or paychecks. He measures it by obedience. And sometimes, obedience looks like standing still while He moves mountains you cannot see. So breathe. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. The plan of God did not skip over you. It is unfolding times through times you. Each rejection, each unanswered prayer, each closed door, none of it was wasted. Heaven has been positioning you like a seed hidden in the soil. You may not see growth yet, but the roots are taking hold in places no eye can see. There is a reason your spirit has been unsettled. Because you were never meant to chase what the world calls security. You were meant to carry what heaven calls destiny. This is not the end of your story, it's the unveiling of a greater one. The job you thought you needed might not be the door God is opening. And maybe, just maybe, He is inviting you to stop searching and start surrendering. Now tell me, how long have you been carrying this weight? How long have you felt unseen, overqualified for one place, underqualified for another? The ache of waiting has become your companion, hasn't it? But listen closely. Even in the silence, God is speaking your name. You've been carrying something inside you, a storm that no one else seems to see. You smile when you have to, nod when people ask how you're doing, but deep down, something is trembling. There are nights when your heart won't quiet down. You lie awake, scrolling through job listings, wondering why nothing fits, why every door you knock on seems to echo with silence. You send another application, say another prayer, whisper, Lord, please, just this time, but morning comes and still nothing changes. And that silence, it's not just outside you, it's in you. It's the kind that hums in the bones, the kind that feels like God Himself has gone quiet. You wonder if you missed something. Maybe you made a wrong choice. Maybe you stepped off the path. Maybe this is punishment, or maybe God has forgotten the address where you live. You try to stay strong, to keep the faith, to tell yourself everything will work out, but there are moments when even your faith feels tired. You see others moving ahead, promotions, announcements, answered prayers, while you remain in the same waiting room of unanswered questions. The world feels like it's spinning forward, and you're stuck in slow motion, watching your own hope fade at the edges. You want to trust, but how do you trust when heaven is silent? You want to believe, but belief feels heavy when nothing seems to move. Every no, every not yet, chips away at something deep inside you. You start to wonder if maybe you're the problem. Maybe your faith isn't strong enough. Maybe your prayers aren't loud enough. But beneath all that noise, something quieter keeps whispering something small, steady, holy. It says, asterisk, wait, asterisk, and yet waiting feels like breaking. Because you've done everything you can, prayed, planned, prepared, and still the ground doesn't move. You begin to question what you're even waiting for. You used to have dreams, big ones, but now they feel far away, like stars you can see but can't touch. Some days you tell yourself it's fine, other days you just want to cry. You don't even need a miracle. You just want a sign that God still remembers you. And in that place, that fragile, quiet ache, heaven draws near. Not to fix everything at once, but to remind you that this ache is sacred, that confusion you feel. It's not proof that you're lost, it's the sound of transition. That silence, it's not God's absence, it's His incubation. The pain you carry is not wasted, it's the womb of purpose. God does His deepest work in hidden seasons, the kind where you can't see the outcome, only the outline of trust. Maybe the chaos isn't chaos at all. Maybe it's choreography, divine steps you can't yet recognize. The delays, the detours, the disappointments, perhaps they're not punishments, but positioning. What looks like confusion from the ground may look like perfect order from heaven's view. The storm you feel inside isn't destroying you, it's refining you. God is teaching you to hear Him in the stillness, to find Him not in the noise of opportunity, but in the quiet of surrender. So don't rush the silence. Don't curse the pause. Every unanswered prayer is still an answered purpose in progress. Every closed door is a sign that heaven's timing has not yet collided with your own. What you call waiting, God calls weaving threads of destiny crossing in unseen patterns. You may not understand it now, but one day you'll look back and realize every sleepless night, every tear, every delay, it was all part of the plan. The storm was never meant to drown you. It was meant to direct you. What if what you called silence was never silence at all? What if heaven was speaking in a language too deep for sound? You thought God had gone quiet, but He was writing in whispers, orchestrating in the unseen. What felt like delay was actually design, and what felt like waiting was really preparation. Every unanswered prayer, every closed door, every path that led nowhere, none of it was wasted. It was all part of a pattern, carefully stitched by hands that never fail. You saw stillness, God saw strategy. You saw nothing happening, heaven saw everything aligning. From where you stand, the road looks broken, full of detours and dead ends. But from where God sits above time, beyond fear, untouched by hurry, the road is perfect. Every turn, every stop, every pause has purpose. You are not wandering, you are being led. Like a river guided by unseen banks, you are flowing exactly where you're meant to go. You've been chasing jobs, titles, approval, security, but God has been after something far deeper. He's been shaping your soul for the work only you can do, preparing you for a purpose no job description could ever define. You see, heaven doesn't measure success by busyness or movement, it measures by alignment. Sometimes God slows you down not to punish you, but to position you. He hides you not to reject you, but to protect what He's growing inside you. The silence that scared you was actually the sound of heaven building quietly behind the curtain. Like roots growing deep before a tree breaks the soil, God was strengthening you where no one could see. While you were asking, when will it happen? He was whispering, when you're ready. Every moment of confusion has been sacred ground, the kind where trust is born. You thought nothing was moving, but the truth is, everything was being arranged. You couldn't see it because divine timing doesn't always move in straight lines. It unfolds in seasons. God was never late, He was waiting for the fullness of time, for the right connections, for the perfect alignment of hearts and places. What looks delayed on earth is often right on schedule in heaven. There is a rhythm to God's work, quiet, deliberate, holy. He doesn't rush like the world rushes. He builds slow because He builds eternal. You may have felt forgotten, but you were being refined. You may have felt overlooked, but you were being reserved for something higher. The very silence that broke your confidence was the space where God restored your dependence. He was teaching you to hear Him, not in the noise of opportunity, but in the stillness of trust. And now, as you look back, can you feel it? The peace beneath the puzzle. The quiet logic behind what once felt like chaos. Nothing was random. Not one season was meaningless. Every unanswered prayer was answered differently, deeper, wiser, perfectly. God's plan was never just to give you a job. It was to reveal your purpose, not just to open a door, but to make sure you walked through the right one. What you thought was a pause was actually precision. So now, breathe again. Let the weight fall from your shoulders. You don't have to strive anymore. You only have to see that God has been guiding you all along. Heaven's silence was never absence. It was direction without explanation, strategy wrapped in stillness. And now that the light is breaking through, you can rest in the knowing this was never about losing your way. It was always about learning His. Embrace this peace. Accept this perspective. You're not behind. You're right where God planned for you to be. There comes a point when faith is no longer a feeling, it becomes endurance. When the prayers you've prayed are still hanging in the air, unanswered, and yet you keep your hands lifted. When the path ahead is invisible, but you take another step anyway. This is where trust is forged, not in the instant yes, but in the long silence. Not in the moment you receive, but in the waiting that refines what you believe. You are standing in that sacred space now. It's not a punishment, it's a process. God has drawn you into stillness so that what was shallow in you might become deep. What was hurried might become holy. And though the waiting feels endless, something eternal is being formed in you. It's here, in this slow season, that heaven watches most closely. Every sigh, every tear, every time you choose faith over fear, it is all seen. You think you are standing still, but in truth, you are growing roots, deep ones, the kind that anchor you when the wind of life begins to shift. You are learning to believe without evidence, to love God without reward, to rest without answers. This is what faith looks like when it matures, quiet, steady, unwavering, the kind that doesn't demand to see the end before taking the next breath. So wait, not with anxiety, but with reverence. Wait as though waiting itself is worship, because it is. When you can't fix, can't control, can't see, and yet you choose to stay, that's holy, that's surrender in its purest form. Faith isn't proven in the noise of victory, it's proven in the quiet of uncertainty. It's the kind of strength that doesn't shout, it simply stands. And every time you choose to trust again, even after disappointment, heaven records it as triumph. Yes, it hurts to wait. Yes, it tests your patience, your hope, your understanding. But this pain is not wasted. It's pruning your heart to hear what comes next. It's shaping your desires until they align perfectly with His. You may not see it now, but this waiting season is God's way of keeping you close, slowing you down until your heartbeat matches His. He's not denying your prayer, He's deepening your spirit. He's preparing you for what would have crushed you if it came too soon. So let your soul rest here. Don't fight the stillness, embrace it. Let the silence settle like a soft blanket over your restlessness. Feel the weight of God's presence in the space between what you want and what He wills. Trust that something unseen is moving in your favor, even when nothing moves around you. The ground you stand on right now, this quiet, uncertain, almost invisible place, is holy ground. God is nearer here than you realize. Breathe slowly. Let your surrender become your strength. The same God who began this story will finish it in His perfect time. You don't have to understand, you only have to remain. You don't have to see the whole picture, you only have to hold your peace. Because in this stillness, God is not absent. He is preparing to speak. The silence is only the pause before revelation. And soon, the one you've been waiting on will unfold. His plan, not just for your job, but for your calling, your future, your very reason for being. Wait a little longer. The divine explanation is near. Now the veil begins to lift. Heaven has been silent long enough for your spirit to listen differently. What once felt like confusion is now starting to take shape. You see, God was never withholding, He was weaving. Every delay had a pulse, every silence a message, every closed door a mercy in disguise. You thought you were losing time, but heaven was gaining alignment. You thought you were falling behind, but God was pulling you ahead, just not in the way you expected. He had to pause your plans so He could purify your motives. He had to let the ground grow still, so that your roots could go deep. You were asking for a job, but He was preparing you for a calling, and callings cannot be rushed, they must be revealed. The delay was not denial, it was discipline. It was the holy kind of waiting that teaches you to trust when sight disappears. You wanted answers, but God wanted depth. He wasn't ignoring you, He was enlarging you. The silence that hurt you so deeply was actually heaven building endurance inside you, teaching your heart to hear beyond sound. When you thought God had gone quiet, He was actually speaking in a higher frequency, not to your ears, but to your soul. He was changing your language from asking to abiding, from striving to surrendering. You had to stop chasing what you thought would fulfill you so He could show you what truly would. And the distance you felt, that strange, lonely space between prayer and promise, it was protection. God wasn't keeping blessings from you. He was keeping burdens away from you. There were doors you prayed for that would have crushed you if they opened too soon. There were people you wanted to walk with who couldn't go where you're going. There were opportunities that looked right but carried hidden harm. So He waited, and in His waiting, He saved you. He didn't explain because explanation can't always be understood while faith is still forming. Instead, He let time itself become your teacher. Every tear was counted, every restless night was noted. Every prayer that seemed to vanish into the air became part of heaven's timing. You were never forgotten, you were being refined. And now, like dawn after a long night, the light begins to break through the edges of your waiting. Suddenly, what made no sense starts to glow with purpose. The silence that once frightened you now feels peaceful. The waiting that once broke you now feels sacred. You begin to understand that nothing was lost. Every not yet was a not like this. Every unanswered prayer was a redirection towards something higher, something lasting. This was heaven's reasoning, to teach you that provision without purpose is empty, that opportunity without preparation becomes destruction. God withheld one thing to give you everything. He delayed the job to awaken the ministry, slowed your plans to strengthen your foundation. He let you be still so that your spirit could finally hear Him say, asterisk, you are not what you do, you are who I designed you to be. Asterisk. Now, peace begins to settle where panic once lived. The dawn is gentle, but certain. The pieces start to fit together. You realize that heaven's timing was never cruel, it was careful. It waited for you to be ready, for your heart to be aligned, for your spirit to mature. The waiting was never wasted, it was working. And now, as light fills the horizon of your faith, something inside you stirs. It's not anxiety anymore, it's expectancy. A quiet confidence that God is about to unfold what He's been forming all along. The plan is closer than you think. The transformation has already begun. Something has begun to move, quietly at first, like wind brushing through the trees before the storm breaks. You can't always hear it, but you can feel it, the shift in the air, the stirring beneath what once felt still. Heaven has started to turn the page. The long night is ending, and the first light of morning has begun to spill across your waiting. The same silence that once held you captive is now opening like a door on its hinges. What felt immovable is loosening. What felt delayed is awakening. The stillness you endured was not the end, it was the threshold. And now, that threshold is giving way to movement. God is not coming, He is already here. the change has begun not with thunder, but with peace. The kind of peace that wraps around your uncertainty and whispers, asterisk, it's time. Asterisk. Time for doors that were sealed to swing open. Time for paths that disappeared to reappear with clarity. Time for the fog that covered your next step to lift. Everything you thought was lost is finding its rhythm again. The plan you couldn't see is starting to unfold, and the pieces are aligning with a grace so natural it almost feels familiar, as if heaven is reminding you that it never forgot where you left off. The shift doesn't shout. It unfolds like dawn, soft, certain, unstoppable. You will begin to notice it in small things. Favor where there used to be resistance. Peace where there used to be fear. New strength rising from old weariness. The rejection that once wounded you now feels like release. The delay that broke your heart now looks like direction. Every moment that felt like an ending has become a beginning in disguise. God has turned what was preparation into manifestation, and what was waiting into arrival. The season is changing, not someday, but now. This is not the noise of striving, this is the sound of fulfillment. The soil that once buried your dreams is breaking open with new life. Opportunities will start to appear like shoots breaking through the ground, fragile but full of promise. And as you take your first steps forward, you'll realize something. You're not the same person who entered the waiting. You've grown roots, resilience, discernment. You've learned to walk not by sight, but by rhythm, the quiet rhythm of divine timing. That rhythm is leading you now into places prepared long before you prayed for them. What once felt distant has drawn near. Heaven is no longer silent, it's singing. Not a song of arrival with trumpets and noise, but a song of gentle assurance, the melody of promises kept. The same God who asked you to wait is now whispering, asterisk, go, asterisk, go into what I have prepared. Step through what I have opened. Don't rush, don't fear, just walk in step with my peace. You'll know it's me because the doors will open without striving. You'll know it's right because it won't feel forced. It will feel familiar, like something your spirit already knew was coming. Everything around you is shifting, but not chaotically. It's holy order. The waiting has turned into movement, the silence into song, the stillness into a steady unfolding. What was promised is arriving, not with noise, but with knowing. You don't have to reach for it anymore. It's reaching for you. The plan that was hidden is now revealing itself in real time. This is the turning point, the sacred moment when heaven's plan meets your obedience. The light has returned, the doors are opening, the season is changing, and what you once waited for is now beginning to walk toward you. Breakthrough has come, and it comes clothed in peace. And now we rest. The sound of striving fades, and all that remains is stillness, the kind that feels alive, holy, complete. You don't have to reach anymore. You don't have to prove or push or wonder if you've missed your moment. Heaven has already moved. The plan has already begun to unfold. What was once hidden is now gently revealing itself. And in the quiet of your heart, peace begins to settle like morning light after rain. You can feel it, that deep, steady assurance that you are exactly where you need to be. Not searching, not wandering, not waiting in vain, just held, just led, just loved. So breathe again. Slowly, deeply. This is the sound of surrender becoming rest. The storm inside you has finally laid down. The questions don't need answers anymore because the presence itself has become the answer. You realize now that all along, heaven wasn't trying to give you something. Heaven was trying to make you someone. Every silence, every delay, every detour was God shaping you into the reflection of His purpose. And now that you see it, gratitude rises like worship. Not loud, not rushed, just quiet wonder. Thank you, Lord, for not letting me settle for less than your plan. Thank you for every door you closed, for every pause that protected me, for every season that taught me to trust. Thank you for rewriting my story in the language of your will. I see now that I was never searching alone. You were guiding my steps, even when I didn't understand the path. I see now that it was never about finding a job, but about discovering your calling. Never about fitting into a role, but about becoming ready for a destiny. Now my heart rests in your timing. My spirit bows to your wisdom. I no longer chase what I can see. I choose to trust what you are unfolding. You are enough. Your plan is enough. And in this moment, I am content to stand still in the presence of the one who holds every answer before I even ask. Stop searching for a job. God has a bigger plan for you. Say it softly now, not as a command, but as a confession of peace. Stop searching because you've been found. Stop striving because the plan is already in motion. Stop fearing because the one who called you has already gone ahead. Let that truth breathe through you until it becomes rest, deep, sacred, unshakable rest. And now, let the silence return, not empty, but full. Full of faith, full of presence, full of quiet assurance. The kind of silence that hums with divine nearness, the kind that needs no words. Just stillness, just peace, just God lingering.